Marissa, and today we're going to have an overview about how to teach clinical reasoning. But first, let's establish what is clinical reasoning. Clinical reasoning is basically your brain's process to turn all of your patient's complaints, physical exam findings, and additional data into diagnoses. Basically what we do every single day as internists. Right now you're probably wondering, how am I going to teach somebody how to think? I know that as a seasoned resident, making a diagnosis might sound like a very natural process. But back when you were an intern, somebody probably broke it down for you. And that's the best way to teach diagnostic reasoning. Get a big puzzle and turn it into small pieces. And just like when you're helping somebody to solve a puzzle, you don't start randomly, right? You start by the corners. And when you're making clinical decisions or making diagnoses, your 4 diagnostic corners are problem representation, diagnostic schema, illness script, and metacognition. Let's start with problem representation. Problem representation is a way of succinctly defining the patient's central clinical problem in a way that's actually going to help you solve the puzzle. It's going to help you build up differentials. So let's take a look at this example. We have a 56-year-old male with new onset pain and swelling in his right knee and left ankle for 3 days. Sure, this gives us a picture of what's going on with the patient, but doesn't really help us come up with differentials. Let's take a look at the second option, 56-year-old with acute inflammatory oligoarthritis. Now I'm thinking about things. The second option is better because it gives me enough information so that I can go back on my library of diseases and figure out my long list of differentials. It tells me enough about who is this patient, what's their clinical syndrome, and what's the timeline. Very important here is not letting your learner give a diagnosis at this point. Now comes the second step, coming up with a diagnostic schema. When you think about diagnostic schema, you should think about a menu in a restaurant. On the menu, the differential diagnosis or the food isn't just listed, it's separated in categories. If you do it this way, it's going to help you remember and be more accurate in your diagnosis. Let's go back to our example. This could be potential major categories, and under the categories, you could then list your differential diagnosis. Now you can see that our list got much better. Now for our third step, the illness script, you're basically going to compare the recipe cards for the diseases that you have here and your patient. If it matches, boom, you have a diagnosis. The last step would be then metacognition, which is a way of us checking our thought process. We're not going to talk about this here, but in a separate video. Amazing. Now to get better at each step, watch our other videos.